We don't like to talk about it that much. Did you guys know that black nationalist terrorist attacks are actually pretty common in the United States? They're called black separationist, I think. United States terrorist attacks by group. This is it. Not 1-6. Like, no, about, yeah, 1-6. Yeah, here. This was from, was this from the ADL, the SPLC? I forget which group this is from. Was the ACLU? I forget. Yeah, but black separatist groups actually make up a pretty it wasn't terrorist attacks. It was types of hate groups. Black separatist hate groups are actually pretty fucking prominent in the United States of America.
Having their own self-determination.
No, every white nationalist that I've ever talked to has bitten the bullet and said Africa for Africans, Europe and America for white people. So, if anything, they would agree with you on that, which is why Marcus Garvey liked the KKK, by the way. Let's go over it one by one. So, I've said this before. This is not new. This shouldn't be surprising to anyone who watches my content. I say the N-word sometimes in private. 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 I'm not saying it's politically relevant, but I do think that some tinges of black separatist thought taint our ability to have good faith discourse within the left movement. I say the N-word sometimes in private. 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 Black nationalism is good, actually. Garveyism got me here. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. Now, is this black separatism, or is this, like, helping black people? I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. The ideology of Garveyism centers on the unification and empowerment of African-American men and women and children under the banner of their collective African descent and the repatriation of African slave descendants and prophets to the African continent. Ha! Ooh! So who were those people in chat who were saying that this is like just empowering black people? This is black separatism. I say the N-word sometimes in private. Interesting. Oh, I thought black nationalism just meant helping black people. Oh, but this is actually a banner on rallying people of a given ethnic background to repatriate them back to Africa. Huh, interesting. Whoa. To be fair, a lot of black people had to choose ethno-state versus annihilation, nothing else. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Is it bad optics to ban a bunch of black people after talking with one of them about how I don't think she should be, like, pushing to protect her culture? The same talking points. Marcus Garvey is a good example of that. He worked with the Ku Klux
Marcus
Klan.
Garvey was a fascist. I'm aware.
Right.
I did a video on Pan-Africanism, I'm aware.
Yeah, but a lot of people promote him as a supporter of black rights, including, and I could be wrong, didn't No Name talk about Garvey at one point in a positive light? Or am I misremembering? I think I might actually remember that, because it sounds progressive, doesn't it? Garvey was so radical and so revolutionary that he didn't even think white and black people could live in the same country. He wanted them to go back and go build a mega civilization in Africa and stuff. And that can sound really tempting to a lot of people who I think he's definitely a prominent voice and a bad one from everything that I know about him personally. And a bad one, 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 and a bad one.
I understand we have white people trolling. Let them hear the truth for once in a while, because they're not used to that.
Mission improvement. Your mission for today is to learn more about the right excellent Marcus Messiah Garvey. Why is Jamaica's first national hero and the UNIA most important today? Marcus Garvey created and led the most influential movement to advance black people, the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Garvey founded the UNIA in 1914. The Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, boasted over 8 million members worldwide, and we are calling on you to join us. Garvey and the UNIA launched the largest black economic development campaign. Garvey built huge domestic and international businesses that employed black people. Marcus Garvey's Negro Factories Corporation had a chain of grocery stores, a restaurant, a steam laundry, a tailor and dressmaking shop, a millinery store, and a publishing house. Garvey offered stock to promote black ownership and wealth creation.
America a white man's country?
Yes, it is a white man's country because he conquered the Indian, exterminated him, and took possession of his property. I'd say the KKK is the invisible government of the United States.
What do you mean?
The Klan represents the spiritual feeling and even the physical attitude of every white man in this land.
Do you realize that such statements could get you lynched?
We have 5 million substantial oak trees between Africa and the West Indies. We are ready for a lynching party tonight if they wanted to.
Recently, there have been several rapings of black women by whites. Was that discussed?
Yes, it was. He claims that they are as much against that as any self-respecting Negro should be. But I know better. In my opinion, they are structured for the purpose of offending, suppressing, and killing Negroes. I would advise every Negro and those who aspire to leadership to form an organization similar to that of the Ku Klux Klan so that they may be able to look out for their own interests and not continue to be begging white people to do for them what they ought to be doing for themselves. Thank you very much.
Hello. I'm here to read a part of The Negro's Greatest Enemy by Marcus Garvey, something he posted in the Current History magazine in 1923. I organized the New York division of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. After instructing the people in the aims and objects of the association, I intended to return into Jamaica to perfect the Jamaica organization. But when we had enrolled about 800 or 1,000 members in the Harlem district and had elected the officers, a few Negro politicians began trying to turn the movement into a political club. Seeing that these politicians were about to destroy my ideals, I had to fight to get them out of the organization. There, it was that I made my first political enemies in Harlem. They fought me until they smashed the first organization and reduced its membership to about 50. I started again, and in 2 months built up a new organization of about 1,500 members. Again, the politicians came and divided us into two factions. They took away all the books of the organization, its treasury, and all of its belongings. At that time, I was only an organizer, for it was not that then my intention to remain in America, but to return to Jamaica. The organization had its proper officers elected, and I was not an officer of New York Division, but president of the Jamaica branch. On the second split in Harlem, 13 of the members conferred with me and requested me to become president for a time of the New York organization, so as to save them from the politicians. I consented and was elected president. There then sprung up two factions, one led by the politicians with the books and the money, and the other led by me. My faction had no money. I placed at their disposal what money I had, opened an office for them, rented a meeting place, employed 2 women secretaries, went on the streets of Harlem at night to speak for the movement. In 3 weeks, more than 2,000 new members joined. By this time, I had the association incorporated so as to prevent the other faction using the name. But in 2 weeks, the politicians had stolen all the people's money and had smashed up their faction. The organization under my presidency grew by leaps and bounds. I started the Negro World. Being a journalist, I edited this paper free of cost for the association and worked for them without pay until November 1920. I traveled all over the country for the association at my expense and established branches until in 1919 we had about 30 branches in different cities. By my writings and speeches, we was able to build up a large organization of over 2 million people by June 1919, at which we launched the program of the Black Star Line. What did Vaush say again?
Actually, the same talking points. Marcus Garvey is a good example of that. He worked with the Ku Klux
Marcus
Klan.
Garvey was a fascist. I'm aware.
Right.
I did a video on Pan-Africanism. I'm aware.
Yeah, but a lot of people promote him as a supporter of black rights.
Marcus Garvey worked with the Ku Klux Klan. Many people promote him as a supporter of black rights. When the UNIA started the Black Star Line, basically the members of the UNIA, which were all black, bought shares of the Black Star Line, basically giving us ownership of the corporation. Not only did we own the shipping line, but we also gained wealth. And also it promoted economic growth in the black community, because now we have a shipping line in which we can transport materials and resources from Black America to other black countries like Jamaica. He's a supporter of black rights. He was, but let's continue. Marcus Garvey also started the Negro Factory Corporation. Basically, it's a chain of grocery stores, restaurants, laundry stores, etc. So basically, Marcus Garvey was building businesses in black communities to be owned by black people to promote, again, economic growth in our community. Negro World, a newspaper started by Marcus Garvey that gave us news about what's going on in our own communities, while it also contained a section for women, and it contained a section for what's going on in the diaspora in different languages. Black Cross nurses, an auxiliary of the UNIA, basically gave healthcare services to black communities and provided infant and maternal care. Infant and maternal care! Let me get this straight. Marcus Garvey gave us employment, healthcare, education, Transportation, because the Black Star Line also was used to transport black people from a different place to another place. And let me get this straight. Vaush wants to say in a way that is mocking of people who support Marcus Garvey. That Marcus Garvey, they say he's a supporter of black rights, as if he didn't support black rights. What the hell did I just tell all of you just now? What was this video showing all of you? Y'all let this man slander our people. Y'all do no research. Let me just make this clear. Marcus Garvey did more for black people than white leftists have ever done in 100 years for us. Yet you white leftists want to tell us what to do, how we need to work, when Marcus Garvey was doing more for us than you guys ever done for us. And you want to slander our people. If you slander Marcus Garvey like this, if you want to put down our people like this, if you want to get in the way of our people trying to live happy because they're sick of experience all the bullshit they experience. How are you an ally to black people? How do you want to aid black liberation? You know, liberation is to be liberated from our oppressors, right? You guys are not going to be accomplices to our liberation. You can pretend like you want to. You can say that you want to so you can co-opt our oppression and use it for your interest, but I'm not buying it. I know how you guys act. I know people lie. I know people say what they want to say. I know language has double speak. I understand y'all language, and I'm going to act accordingly. So you can try to want to debate it. I don't have to debate anything. I'm not interested in trying to discuss things that are apparent. Actions speak louder than words. And history has a lot of things that's telling me in my ear. A lot of you feel that since we're black, we have excuses to be bad people. If this is how you feel, I don't know why you want to work with a lot of black people. Or you might say, I'm not the good black. I have to be the good black. You see how we're going? A lot of you guys are actual colonizers. You don't want no borders or nothing like that. You don't want people to do anything. Look how you guys are, once again, being just like those that you say you're not. Because if black people set up their own community, you white people, white leftists, are going to burn it down. You know that, right? You're going to burn it down. And the reason that you're going to burn it down is because you feel as if we're being reactionary. It's the same thing, just the different side, the opposite side of the coin is showing its face. You're not any different. You're not any different. And that's what this shows. It's going to be really fucked up and disgusting and twisted when you burn down the black community, basically telling folks that you did it to take down fascism. That's how twisted you guys are. In my opinion, as long as we continue to work with the Eurocentric left, we will never be free, because the Eurocentric left will continue to police every black person to not stray from their interests and their values and ideas, which are actually counterproductive to our goals and interests of trying to liberate ourselves. Because you guys don't want us to engage in anything that would actually challenge the system. You want us to basically liberate ourselves in a way that will not affect you when you guys are continuously killing us right now.
I'm not saying it's politically relevant, but I do think that some tinges of black separatist thought taint our ability to have good faith discourse within the left movement.
Fucking pussy. Come on stream and call me a cracker. Oh, hey, Cormentine. The really funny thing is, like, Cormentine went after Destiny first, but I've said the N-word on stream way more than he has. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I always say it in a non- or anti-racist context. The really funny thing is, like, Cormentine went after Destiny first, but I've said the N-word on stream way more than he has. I'm not going to give charitability to these people. Not to mention, this guy called me a fucking cracker, dude. This is the same person who called me a cracker. No, I cannot be canceled anymore, like, meaningfully. I've put way too much time and effort and energy into this. I'm not going to let any number of dipshit woke skulls ruin the career and the good that I've tried to do. I'm going to keep doing this for as long as YouTube is a platform, and then even past. I'm going to find new platforms to come on. I will infect the internet like a cancer, and I will metastasize until there is no way to remove me without killing the host.
I'm not saying it's politically relevant, but I do think that some tinges of black separatist thought taint our ability to have good faith discourse within the left movement.
I say the N-word sometimes in private.
Like, all the black people in America to leave, or like this is.
But black separatist groups actually make up.
But while I'm part of the online left, I don't want like liberals or normies to look at my movement and see like black people being like, yeah, listen, whites, you stay in your spaces. Black people cannot get along with you. Like that kind of thing, you know? It's really disruptive to the movement. It makes it difficult to recruit. That kind of thing, you know? Makes it difficult to recruit, 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 makes it difficult to recruit.
Keep your little baby space, and we can have a broader left space, but we can also have a much broader left space that is interested in appealing to people from all across the spectrum. So people over here might occasionally say retard or whatever. Okay, I'll take people saying retard and supporting class emancipation than I will taking them saying retard and not supporting class emancipation. Hey, listen, over here, hey, if you're a white dude, listen over here, this is the circle for white dudes who really love saying nigga. They love saying, they're like, I'm a nigga. Okay, this is where they are, okay? I would rather have them be here.
Did you hear that?
But while I'm part of the online left, I don't want like liberals or normies to look at my movement and see like black people being like, yeah, listen, whites, you stay in your spaces. Black people cannot get along with you. Like that kind of thing, you know?
This is the circle for white dudes who really love saying nigga. They love saying, they're like, I'm a nigga. Okay, this is where they are, okay? I would rather have them be here.
It's really disruptive to the movement. It makes it difficult to recruit. That kind of thing, you know? When I'm alone with my girlfriend at night, when we're like high or whatever, I occasionally say the N-word. I say it with a hard R. Do I look like a fucking bitch to you? Do you think I would puss out on a joke that could be funnier if I went the full mile? Of course not. Now, are these jokes racist? No, I never make racist jokes. But the jokes invoke the humored, the...
This is the question that I have, though, I think. It's that this is a characterization of my audience that I hear a lot, but I don't think I've ever seen any evidence over it. I know it's difficult to gather evidence because there are no peer-reviewed studies on the political disposition of YouTube audiences. But when I look at like my chat or my Twitter replies or like my like Discord or whatever, these are usually like queer trans horny posters for the most part. I don't really see this like contingent of, there are edgy people, sure, but these like aggressively toxic people, I just don't really like see them. I don't really think I have this collection of people who follow me who are like in on the economic arguments, but they're still like deeply patriarchal, I guess. I just don't really see that, so I don't know where that's coming from. So I need you guys to be crazy fucking, I need you guys to be white knighting like crazy. Well, you guys got to be on Twitter every 30 minutes, okay? You got to type in Vaush, you got to search, you got to find negative tweets about me, and then you got to defend, okay? It doesn't matter what you find. It doesn't matter how indefensible it is. You got to defend, okay? I just don't really see that, so I don't know where that's coming from. It's okay? You gotta type in Vaush, you gotta search, you gotta find negative tweets about me, and then you gotta defend, okay?
You know?
I don't know if I can trust other people's account or characterization of those members of my audience because I don't trust their characterizations of me. There are a lot of people who still think that I'm like this really like reactionary, edgy, like Nazbol debate bro.
Guys, I'm exercising self-restraint here, okay? Hey, I'm watching part of your video on stream, and I feel as though you've misrepresented my position somewhat. Would you be interested in coming on to clarify or clear things up? That's so much restraint. That's just an unfathomable degree.
Why is the context of who has power irrelevant?
Because, and I'll say it once more, and this is why you should really check your racism, my friend. Really check your racism, 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 really check your racism.
I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private. I say the N-word sometimes in private.
First thing I would say to white America is that all of you are racist.
And if people think that of me in spite of all the contrary evidence of my content, I don't know how I can trust them to reasonably like characterize those members of my audience. What if all these debate bro types on Twitter are just other people like me who are genuinely progressive but are sick and tired of all of the hyper performative, you know, sensitivity on the Twitter left? I say the N-word sometimes in private. Like if I had to take a guess, there are definitely people in my audience who fucking suck. I think that's probably a reasonable guess, given the size of my audience. And they probably do take a lot of that toxic debate bro shit along with them. But I don't know I don't know if like that's like 10 people or if that's 100, or I don't know like how many of these people who are said to suck are actually just like me, in which case they're based and awesome. And I need you guys to be white knighting like crazy. Well, you guys got to be on Twitter every 30 minutes, okay? You got to type in Vaush, you got to search, you got to find negative tweets about me, and then you got to defend, okay? It doesn't matter what you find. It doesn't matter how indefensible it is. You got to defend, okay? Press S.
If you made it this far, you can see me react to some Reddit comments. For months after the Dia Angel debate, he would post multiple times a day on Twitter about Vaush bad. Seems to have softened somewhat though. That's very interesting. Because seems like he wasn't looking at my tweets. I was suggesting that we empower each other and we don't really focus on Vaush like that. But I guess you think what you think, and you're always gonna look at people who don't like your king as some sort of insane asylum patient? Or whatever. Patient zero? Sure, buddy. Citing Scorpio, who believes black billionaires don't deserve criticism, black people don't belong in the left movement, ethno-states are fine as long as black people do it, and openly lobbied about executing Vaush and Xanderhall for being white, among other anti-white racist takes, I'm begging people as a black person with common sense not just blindly accept bad takes from bad actors just because they're black. You're not helping. I believe that black billionaires don't... Wow, man. You're in the sunken place, and I hope you get out. It seems like you have so much brainwashing to undo. Something that struck out to me is the criticism that Vaush didn't give you a platform to talk or debate or whatever. No streamer, YouTube, or anyone with a platform is obligated to platform random people. You weren't censored, you were just blocked by Vaush. Those are very two different things. You can still talk to him about all you want, hence the video. You want a particular huge or relevant person on the internet, your most popular video has 4.4k views, you have 300 subscribers and 1,000 followers. That is less relevant than my fucking porn blog I made for fun 4 months ago. And I'm not complaining about XYZ as in platforming me. Also, the name drop on Sam Cedar is you calling in on Sam Cedar to say some crazy shit and name drop yourself. So nice meme. I didn't go on Sam Cedar's show. But the fact that you instantly believe that, and you think that I'm mad that he just didn't say platform me, it's deeper than that actually. But you guys don't have the critical thinking ability to actually understand. You guys can misrepresent my clips, my thread, everything. Not allow a person to represent themselves. You guys also changed and directed everything to Quarantine, who wasn't really relevant in all of this. He was just, I guess, a black nationalist, and you guys thought that's what makes him the center, but he wasn't. You just went to somebody else. I was censored because I was blocked, and I had everything misrepresented. My views were suppressed. The context I put in the threads were ignored. Or you think I made the video? You guys are stupid. Well, that's enough. Enjoy your day, guys. Have a nice time.
I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me, for in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions up the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a whirlwind or a storm, look for me all around you, for with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life.